Another video with delete laws, a big part of his message. It's important to, I guess, highlight the message that he's trying to convey. He does have viable solutions moving forward, unlike a lot of people. And one of his solutions is allow people to voluntarily be put into custody. No use of torture cuffs, as he describes them. And ultimately, hopefully, getting rid of the dungeon system as well and actually correcting people in the correction industry. Maybe a little less industry and a little more correcting. Then it can actually function as stated instead of as intended. As intended, it creates the breakdown of the family unit and unemployability, not correction.
Turn around, show your back. I want to see your back. Okay. Just open your arms normal, okay? That's how big he is. That's how wide this man is. That's how physically big he is. He's bigger than I am, or at least the same size.
This guy, I might give 3 sets of cuffs to try to get him in. I hope they weren't trying with just one to begin with. And like, what are you doing to try just like keep wrenching, like chicken winging the guy?
If not bigger. Bigger. He's bigger than me. That's a fact. That was my ego saying maybe I'm bigger. He's bigger. He's definitely bigger. When he said you're under arrest, if he'd said to you, body cam on, you're under arrest, you're coming with me, would you have walked out the door with him? No.
And see, this answer I didn't understand. And delete laws, he's laughing. He's like, why would you say that? Maybe he just didn't think about it. Or he's just that type of guy. I don't know, maybe. But what's the difference? Like, once the cuffs are on, then you'll do what they say? Why not just do what they say before the cuffs are on, and then you don't need to have handcuffs on? Like, what's the benefit for you having handcuffs on if you don't like them? I think most people, if a police officer says you're under arrest, you're coming with me, will go with them. Most people.
That's Terry versus Ohio. They were suspicious of him harboring a fugitive. No proof of that, no nothing. The pig's word is the Terry law. That's what they said in 1968, and we're still living under it today. So now...
And here's another thing is, now when you're suspected, you're treated as a criminal. So, like the guy with the wellness check, he was handcuffed, he put his hands underneath his knees, and his knees up to his chest. The officer decided that the correct course of action was to grab him by the throat and rip him out of the car, head first into the pavement. And that man will never walk again. And he was lucky that he lived. Or maybe he was unlucky that he lived. I hope I never find out.
You lay in the car?
Yes.
Where do your feet go?
On the seat.
Are people outside looking?
Yep.
Yep, all the neighbors outside are looking. You're being humiliated in the shackles. If you have kids and neighbors' kids, then they'll probably talk about it at school. Neighbors will talk it up. You're seen as a bad person because, you know, you were driving the wrong colored car or had a non-existent warrant or called the cop a asshole.
And this man's done nothing wrong, not a damn thing. He's being arrested for suspicion. That's Terry versus Ohio. And the cop has a right to arrest him on suspicion because of...
And I sat in that car for a little over an hour.
In the car for an hour?
In the car.
Laying down your belly or your back?
Back.
On your back, laying on your
Yes.
back, and your cuffs are underneath of you.
Yes.
And they're digging into your wrists.
Yes.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And you wonder why I have no respect. I would never do that to you, Eugene. I would get you out of there, dude. I would never torture you that way, dude.
And I just want to point it out that if Eugene didn't want the cops to put the cuffs on him, the cops would not have been able to put the cuffs on him unless he was knocked out. Or if they were Gracie Survival Training certified.
You would wear that and you'd have to walk around.
And I can't imagine, like, having to wear these for more than 5 minutes.
And the more other enslaved people saw you like that, the more you sent the message that the same thing could happen to you. And that was a part of the control of slavery.
And you cannot imagine how uncomfortable and heavy these are.
It replaced the slavery that had been abolished.
Handcuffing injuries like neuropathy are among the most common and costly sources of law enforcement liability. And as always, make sure to get good and regular training in restraint application and anything else that will keep you safe.
You know, I'll sign any waiver you need. Mark, my position is pretty clear. Handcuffs are outright torture.
I understand your stance on handcuffs, yes.
It's not my stance, but you heard it. I mean, I'm asking you, Mark. You did hear what Hugo Black said. What if he wants to do something less of arresting to get an answer out of him? What did he say?
I
That's what he said, right?
Mr.